I made it 130 miles to BlackOps Auto Body or AutoPro, and we'll go in here and see if Maath is here. So here we are inside. I met Maath outside, and this is his shop. I love the wood walls in this metal building. So he's all about detailing, ceramic coating, wet sanding, vinyl applications. He wants to get into older cars like mine. And here's a frame he's working on from an old Chevrolet pickup truck he was telling me about. He's outside dealing with a customer right now, and he'll be in just a minute. The purpose of my visit is to see what vinyl wrap is all about, because I'm thinking about maybe doing it to my white W108 sitting out there, because I want to bring the exterior up to the level of the interior, but we'll see. Tell us about your business.
Yeah, welcome, Ken. My name is Maath, owner of BlackOps AutoPro here in Asheland, Virginia. We specialize in BMWs, Audis, Mercedes, and anything GM mechanically, but we also provide a lot of vinyl wrapping. So you can see in the back over there, we have R8. We just got done doing a full color change on. We got a Mercedes behind Ken that we just did satin black on. So
we'll look at them in detail in a minute.
So a little bit of everything, but we also do high-end detailing. Most of our business is the mechanical stuff.
So how come you got into vinyl wrapping instead of painting?
So great question. I can't stand body shops. Nobody ever gets the work that they want out of a body work. So vinyl wrapping is a consistent color on a roll that you can't really get wrong. So it kind of just fulfilled my need, and I kind of started offering it to customers just because I saw how rewarding it is.
And to do it properly not only requires training and experience, but also preparation.
A lot of preparation. So everything goes, it's all about prep work. When you lay down the vinyl, you want to make sure it's going to be laid down properly, evenly. You want to make sure, there's a lot of lines. So for example, if you lay down the film at an angle and then you lay that down, you're going to leave a line. So it's very, very tedious. But again, you got to make sure a car is prepped, washed, buffed, perfected, no dings, no dents, no rust.
So all those imperfections, the dings, the dents, the rust, are repaired just as if the car was going to be painted.
That's correct.
And so a full wrap job, the preparation would also include removal of trim, bumpers, but this is not an out of glass experience.
That's correct.
Or glass out experience, I should say.
I'll never sell this. My kids will own this.
Your kids will own this.
My kid, I hope they like it. I hope they like Mercedes.
So this okay, obviously you just got finished saying this is yours.
This is my baby.
And this is your personal project where you are changing what looks like a perfectly good silver car.
Painted it before I even wrapped it.
Oh, painted it silver.
Yep.
Okay, and then you wanted to do a color change, and you wanted to go to this matte finish. Nothing to do with your first name, Maath. But and then you blacked out this, or just been like you did on your Jaguar.
Yep.
And so what this is then, basically, is what we're talking about potentially doing to my car, right?
Correct.
Can you kind of talk about this a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, if you're new to the wrapping game, just think of it as think of it as a big sticker. It's a black big sticker that you wrap your car in. It's a vinyl. When you get it, it comes in as a roll right here. This is what I'm using for my car. It comes, a 60-foot roll, and this is what it is. It's about 8 mil vinyl wrap, and that you get to apply to your car if you want to change it. If you're, you want to change
whatever
things up.
the warranty is, if that fails, then you fix it.
Correct.
Because you're
certified through them, and they'll pay me to fix it. So
Yes.
The warranty stuff is very hard to actually take them up on, just like all warranty companies. Though obviously if it starts cracking is really what they're gonna back up. So one thing that you're just not gonna see nowadays on this newer generation of vinyl is it cracking. I don't know if you remember, 15, 20 years ago, cars would come out of the dealerships with like, the full, the half fenders, half of the hood, wrapped in that clear film.
Oh.
And it would start cracking and yellowing, and your car would be white, and this would be like brown.
And I guess the intention was trying to
protect it, but that's just old technology. It wasn't. They didn't print that with the intention of it being off for that long. They thought, a few years and you're gonna rip it off. The new stuff nowadays is it goes through. It's like an assembly line. It's a vinyl. Then they protect it. It gets even laminated depending on what kind of stuff that you want to do. I can even show you my sign outside, the BlackOps AutoPro sign that's hung up on the building.
Yes.
That's outside all day, every day, for seasons of the year. So that was laminated on top of the vinyl itself. So, but backing up,
this of course the original paint was a glossy finish like you find on most cars.
Correct.
I can see new cars coming out of the factory now on the street where people have opted for these new matte paint finishes, or satin. Satin, I guess, is a better term. I'm just running my fingers along here, and it just feels really nice. It
feels really good. So I got the trim. Absolutely, I got the trim all off, Ken. So obviously, when I put my trim back on, you will not see this. The trim sticks out until right here. So everything obviously in the back, you're not going to see that.
And of course, because you're doing a color change, you have stuff like this, the original color showing through, and your sills and your jams. But you were saying you wanted to go ahead and finish this out.
So I pulled my doors behind my car, and I don't want to see any silver. When I open my door, I don't want you to know what color it used to be. So I got my rocker panel off, which goes right here on the side. I removed my rocker panel and applied this vinyl wrap on the bottom. Even though my rocker panel is going back on, there's almost I would say not even 1/4 of an inch of a gap that's going to be between the rear quarter panel and the rocker and on the main, I guess, frame. So I don't want you to even see through that crack and see silver. So I've removed the door, removed the rocker panel, put this small strip that's going to hide that small difference between that. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it does.
So,
and beauty is in the details because they add up.
Correct. Oh yeah. A lot of people would be like, "Hey, it's a rare car. Why would you do all this to it?" But like I was telling you before, some people appreciate it, some people won't, and that's okay. I don't plan on getting rid of it. This makes me very happy, and it's to me, I feel like I'm enhancing it. This is one of a kind. Once I'm done with it and it's on the road, you will not see another one finished like this. I can move this for you, Ken, if you want, and you can see.
Oh, here we go.
And you can see
here's the door.
Yep, I got it stripped, and you can see on the back. I'm adding a lot of carbon fiber stuff to it. So this rear,
I see.
This rear diffuser, again, I pulled this off when I wrapped and tucked it, and then it's still not mounted, and I kind of put it back on. So just I'll have to.
It's a mock-up.
Correct. So.
Huh. When I walk in here, if it hadn't been for this, which is going to be which is going to be taken care of, I wouldn't know this was vinyl.
You would not know.
I'm not talking about pretending it's something it's not. I'm just talking about looking at taking advantage of new technology, because you can get the same, perhaps you can get the same quality, for less cost. And anybody who's these days who have vintage cars, any kind of car, try to find a body shop these days who will do good work for you. It's impossible. I think they all think they're Picassos or something.
Really a consistent finish.
This is the Jaguar you drove to my house.
This is my girl.
And
Oldie.
this is paint.
That's paint.
Okay, now that's good, that's good. So this is paint, and the Mercedes is vinyl.
Vinyl. This is original paint.
Yeah.
If I ever had to do any paint work to it, I probably wouldn't do any. You know, I might wrap the whole thing gloss black.
Yes, yes. Whereas my car, you know, there's something to be said about patina, but what I like is honest patina. That is something that's come by with honest use. And my car that I drove here, its patina, if you will, is from neglect and misuse and people just not caring. And of course, as you and I discussed, my whole goal is what I would like to do is bring the exterior up to the standard of that original interior. And I've talked to body shops, I've told you about it, and yeah, and of course I've talked with you.
And it never goes as planned with body shops, I'll tell you that. If you ever do find somebody that's like, yes, we got it, we can do it, it's 100%, it's never 100%, because if you're like me, you're gonna go crazy when you pick your car up from the body shop and you're gonna see trash in the paint.
Yeah.
Little spots, and you're like, oh, now I have to wet sand the whole car. And I mean, it just, you go crazy. I go crazy.
Let's talk about, since you brought up wet sanding, care of the vinyl finish versus a painted finish.
Sure. So it depends. That's a great question. So it depends on the finish of the wrap. So if this was a gloss finish vinyl, you can still wax it, and you can still probably lightly polish it with a buffer.
So why would you want to do that?
So just with so bird poop can sit on your vinyl, and it's going to etch the vinyl just like it etches the paint, just because of the good stuff in the poop, right? Water spots could stain your paint. It could stain the vinyl. So a way to remove that is by lightly polishing it. Obviously that's film. It's, you know, it's a plastic, think of it. So you can't buff it. You can't be too aggressive.
No, because the heat.
You'll burn it. You'll burn it right off. Absolutely.
Well, you can burn paint off too.
You can, but it'll take a lot more to burn paint than it will vinyl.
So maybe something like a speed shine.
Correct.
Something like that.
Something quick. That's absolutely right. Spray on wax.
Yeah, by hand.
Just quick. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But so paint, you know, it's still gonna, it gets water spots, it gets bird poop stains, it gets swirl marks, it gets all those imperfections, and you polish it. You can wet sand. You can be very aggressive to paint. You cannot wet sand vinyl. Don't do that. Don't even.
I can understand that.
But the nice thing too, again, you know, vinyl is, you can pull the thing off and redo it. You know, you can't pull this paint off and redo it. You know, if I'm not happy with my door, with my trunk, with my fender, I could redo it. Or better yet, you can apply it right on top.
That's like a new roof on top of an old roof on a house. You only can do that so many times.
You have so much freedom in vinyl that you don't with paint. And with paint, you have to tape everything off. You have to make sure your wheels are off. You know, you're gonna get overspray, and that's one. There's so many things about body shop, Ken, that it drives me crazy. You know, it's just like one thing after another.
I would never do this to one of my cars. It's just not my taste. However, the point of looking at this is can you tell whether this is paint or not? You know, and just looking at the application, how does it feel? It has a glossy finish to it, like paint, but because of all the metallic and the way that it picks up the light, it doesn't have the depth as if it was one solid. And so I'm just looking at, may I open a door up?
Absolutely, knock yourself out.
Okay, so what we're looking at in here,
what color it used to be.
Ah.
It used to be gray.
And you see, that blends. This and what used to be blends. You don't feel, well, I can feel a little, I can feel where the vinyl is right here, but it's all tucked under. It's all tucked in. And you were telling me earlier that, like on hoods and whatever, it's you wrap it around, so it's not, in other words, where the hood stops, that's not where the vinyl stops.
That's correct.
It stops underneath it somewhere.
Correct.
And on my car, if I do this, I'm going back, I'm going to be using as close as we can to the factory Mercedes Benz white that's on there. So the parts of the car that have been hidden, like the door jambs and stuff like that inside the engine compartment, they all look nice. It's the outside that's been abused and not taken care of and not appreciated. And so it's not like we're going to be changing the color of the car and now we have to worry about what's the engine compartment going to look like. I mean, it'd be up to you, you know, when you start applying it, as to whether you would do the door jambs or not, you know, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if doing the door jambs makes the total application more durable and lasting or not. It seems to me the fewer seams you have, the fewer potential problems might pop up.
Correct.
I don't know. I'm just guessing, just looking at how it's done and what I've read.
That's a good question. A good comment. Wherever there's a lot of curves, there's a lot of areas that you might think over time the vinyl might pop out. So for example, this door, let's look at this door for a second. So every panel is one piece of film. What does that mean? That means the roof starts from here and is all the way here, and it's connected to a pillar. So that's one piece. The rear quarter is one piece. There's no cut, put in a new piece. It's one piece everywhere. But let's look at the door for a second. The door, there's a lot going on at this door. It's coming at this angle, then it cuts back in, then it goes straight down, then it comes back out, then it goes in here. So there's a lot of tension right here. So what do you do to make sure this doesn't come back up? Before we apply the film to this door, we'll actually use primer, vinyl primer. So I'll just put a little bit of primer against the body line and right here. So when I put that vinyl down, it's going on once and it's not coming off unless it's pulled off. So this just gives you an additional adhesive that bonds with the film.
Excellent. And my fantasy is that, and I'm beginning to believe it, is that the workmanship is such that when that car out there is done, no one's going to be able to tell. For a variety of reasons. Very old school, you know, very traditional people looking at the car, and vinyl, yuck, you know, they just don't even, well, consider, yuck. You know, you have that attitude, yeah. And I have that attitude about stuff too. I had that attitude about vinyl until I started reading and looking, and you visited my place, and I'm looking at this work here, and like I said, I'm just focusing on the application and just the quality of it all, and I would not be able to tell. And I'm no expert, yeah, but I could not tell. And you know, and I understand the idea of the spray on wax or whatever, wash it, and that just gives it an extra little protection on top of the vinyl. Correct. To make washing easier. Correct.
That's up to you.
Right.
It's not necessary.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about preparation, Ken.
Yes.
I mean, this shop is this clean for a reason. When this stuff is going on the car, you don't want any dust around you coming up in the air. You don't want to be moving around, picking up dust and applying the film onto the car. It wouldn't be this smooth. You'd see a little bump. You'd be like, oh, I feel a piece of hair. I feel an eyebrow hair in there. You know, you would see that. There is nothing. This is a complete flush finish. Now, if you have a really good eye, you'll be able to pick up where there's rock chips that this customer didn't really care about. You know, we asked her, hey, do you want us to fill in your rock chips?
Oh, so it shows up as sort of you can feel them rather than
little teeny little dot.
Yeah, this is new.
You don't see it.
I mean, you see people doing it to new stuff and more modern stuff, but it's a whole new thing with regards to vintage cars.
Yep. To be quite honest with you, I don't know why they really haven't done it on older classics.
Well, it's because people like me are old school.
So they didn't have vinyl back in the day, right?
They didn't have vinyl. Well, they had
wasn't a
vinyl. MB Tex. Wrap it in MB Tex.
That's right. That's funny.
It'll be here till the cockroaches die.
That's awesome.